Hi, it's Friday, August 15th, and obviously I'm not home. I'm on the Central Oregon coast right now. I had planned this trip actually to do some research for a larger video series. We'll see if everything comes together for me to film it. That's much more tied to social permaculture, conservation, and environmental activism. But I'm trying to take some time to film some regular videos, but the internet is just completely abysmal. So we will see if this actually is able to get uploaded. I'm gonna try and make a few videos right now. It's low tide, but the weather's really terrible. You would think I would have packed better considering we used to live here on this stretch of the coast, but I forgot my rain jacket. I actually forgot enough warm clothes in general. I've stolen my husband's flannel for now. Hang on, let me show you what it looks like outside. Yeah, it's in the 50s out right now. I mean, I love this kind of weather, but maybe not for being right down on the beach, especially when it's quite windy and I'm not adequately dressed for the trip. But as long as I'm stuck inside for a little bit, I wanted to remind everybody that there is a National Day of Action tomorrow. I won't be in Portland, Oregon, but there are several events around the Portland metro area, but there are actually events all over the country. The event is called Fight the Trump Takeover, and you can go to fightthetrumptakeover.com. There is an interactive map, and you can find the event near you. That's National Day of Action tomorrow, Saturday, August 16th. There is a protest tomorrow in conjunction with this event that is only about 20 minutes away from where we're going to be tomorrow. So I'm going to see if we are able to get there and join them. I'll stand out in the rain to protest Donald Trump, whether or not I have a rain jacket. But I really encourage you. This is a response not only to the Republicans' brazen attempt to gerrymander Texas, but the fact that Republicans in other states are just as eager to violate the Constitution, betray their constituents, and do whatever their dear leader demands of them. We're now seeing other states like Florida and Missouri, which have Republican-controlled state houses, also wanting to bend the knee, also wanting to disenfranchise millions of their own voters. We know that Republicans cannot win unless they cheat. They cannot win through legitimate means. I will say it over and over and over again. Part of the reason I hate this red state versus blue state debate is because there's really no such thing as a red state. There are gerrymandered purple states, especially when you are looking at the American South. I know right now the uber conservative majority on the Supreme Court is hoping to dismantle pretty much the rest of the Voting Rights Act and deny the reality that the southern states absolutely gerrymander along racist goals. Southern Republican controlled state houses gerrymander their maps specifically to disenfranchise Black voters, which of course could bring up a whole other conversation about how part of the reason that we are in the position we're in now is because we failed to adequately get justice after the Civil War, and so much of what happened in that era with the establishment of Jim Crow, with the desire of the American people to just sweep it under the rug and move along, kept in place systemic racism, amplified that systemic racism, failed to fix so many of the core problems that we are still facing in 2025. Which is why I keep saying after this is over, there must be accountability, there must be justice for what the fascists have done. Now, we cannot sweep this under the rug. I know Democrats just desperate, let's just move on, you guys. We're really conflict avoidant. We saw the very tepid, flaccid response from Democrats after the insurrection that Donald Trump committed, how they failed to aggressively pursue justice, how Joe Biden, even though he could have expanded the Supreme Court, failed to do that, thus allowing the uber conservative majority to, continue to carry out their Christo-fascist vision, to continue to carry out their unitary executive theory, handing over gobs and gobs of power to Donald Trump. Remember, a couple of years ago, a lot of people were talking about how unitary executive theory was very fringe. It is fringe, but now the majority on the Supreme Court believes in it and is pushing it and is stripping away your rights and trying to make Donald Trump a king. Saw Merrick Garland fail to get justice for us because he slow-walked everything. He said repeatedly he was showing deference to Donald Trump because of his position as a former president, even though he also gave lip service to everybody's equal under the law. That's not how he acted, which is again why we are in this position now, handing Jack Smith a case at a point in time so late, multiple cases far, far too late in the game. Before I get on too much of a tangent about the timidity of establishment Democrats and the corruption of the Supreme Court, I think it's important to use those two things to remind all of us that the systems are not going to save us. The institutions are not going to save us. No politician, no judge is going to sweep in and save us. It is up to us, the American people, to organize, form a groundswell resistance, and claim the power that we have. And that's what the protest tomorrow is about. It is about a vigorous pushback. Hang on, I gotta close this window. It's a little too windy. It's a public declaration against the tyranny of the Republican Party, against the fact that the Republican Party are continual cheaters. They are continually trying to deprive American citizens of having representative democracy. Republicans are so panicked. Donald Trump is so panicked about the midterms that they are trying to gerrymander the shit out of Congress because they cannot win by legitimate means. Right, look at what's happening in DC. Donald Trump is spiraling. He is absolutely freaking the fuck out. He doesn't want you to remember that the Epstein files is right there. The more that comes out about it, the more damning it is for Trump. He doesn't want you to look at the fact that he is underwater in the polls across the board. He made some ridiculous Truth Social post the other day that was like, his approval rating is the highest ever. No, what is it, like 30-something%? The American people are opposed to what he's doing with immigration. They're opposed to what he's doing with the National Guard, using our service members as pawns in his political games. The American people are opposed to gerrymandering and denying us our right to vote and representation in government. The American people are opposed to what he's doing with his tariffs. 68% of the American people are opposed to the big, nasty, bloated budget bill that Trump signed into his tax law, which is ballooning the debt, which is taking away healthcare from 14 million Americans and giving a giant tax break to the super rich. We have had it up to here with what he's doing, and it's important that we continue to speak out. Now, again, protests are not something that is going to stop this. Protests are a way that we visibly demonstrate to all of those pillars of support underneath Trump: media, institutions, businesses, members of the military, even folks within his own regime. It's a way we demonstrate the American people are opposed to this. Just so you know, Donald Trump's days in power are numbered. You might want to think twice about whether you want to hang on, whether you want to keep riding out that sinking ship, bailing water, or a man who's absolutely going to take you down with him. Whether you want to try and withdraw the support and minimize the amount of fallout there will be for you, consequences there will be for you for what you have done now. The other reason that we join together in protests like this is so that we create a visible demonstration to other people. You are not alone. Millions and millions of Americans all around the country are opposed to what's happening. We are telling Texans, y'all are not alone. We stand with you. But we're also demonstrating to people in our own states, hey, your neighbors are actually opposed to this too. You don't have to hide and pretend that you're the only one. I think it's so important, especially when we're looking at folks in red states, those blue dots in red states, that we communicate to them, hey, we're in solidarity with you. It can feel like you're alone if you're living in Trumperland, but you're not. We promise you, you're not alone. Come connect with us. Come join with us. This is really good and worthy work. It's necessary work, and you don't have to do it by yourself. I know so many people, especially on social media, love to say like protests don't really do anything. No, it's just that y'all don't understand what the purpose of these protests are. It's not, we don't expect the Republicans to be like, oh, our bad. We're brazen cheaters, but because y'all marched today, we're just gonna stop. No, that's not the expectation. We know that Donald Trump is not going to stop what he's doing. Fascists don't stop until you stop them. They don't voluntarily give up their power. They don't admit they're wrong. They don't suddenly decide to become ethical, moral people. The goal here is to get those institutions underneath Trump to fear the people more than they fear dear leader, to understand that they don't actually have to continue to support him. They can become non-compliant with the regime, and he will topple if all of those pillars of support underneath him decline to continue to hold him up. He will topple. And we know from other nonviolent resistance movements, it takes a huge, sustained visual display from the people to undercut those pillars, to get them to withdraw or to chisel away at them, and we knock them over. And again, it's really important to show solidarity, to bring other people in, to recruit other people, to boost morale, and to keep us going in this work, because y'all, we have a lot of heavy lifting. We have a lot of heavy lifting to do. So hopefully I'll see everybody out there tomorrow. Now we'll see if this video uploads.